Hello, work life warriors. Happy Sunday. How are you? How's your weekend? Are you ready for work? When your alarm goes off tomorrow, will you hop out of the bed ready, excited to go to work, or are you going to hit your alarm 50, 11 times? I would love to know down in the comments. Are you playing as hard as you working? I just want to know. Are you playing as hard as you are working? Are you having a good time? Are you enjoying the journey? That's the biggest question. Are you enjoying the journey or do you dread it? Do you hate it? Do you dislike it? Are you indifferent? Are you engaged? Do you produce? Are you where you want to be? Are you who you want to be? I would love to know. Drop down in the comments and share with me where are you? How are you feeling emotionally? It's very important that you know if you are enjoying this experience or are you feeling dread? On Mondays, matter of fact, on Sundays, do you feel dread? Are you excited? If you're feeling dread on Sundays and you wake up on Mondays and hit the snooze button, you are not managing your stress. It is in your best interest to manage your stress. And one way that we manage our stress is we read. So I teach a bunch of different practices to manage stress, and one of the best ones is reading. So we read weekly. Each week I come here and I share with you what I'm reading. We have a book club community where we discuss a book each month, but I read a book each week. And right now I have been I've read this book, but I've been doing the series for you called Unstressable. So I am reading Unstressable, or I already read it, and I am doing a series on all of the information that triggered for me while I was reading this book. And so I am going to go through and talk about each tab. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the ninth Unstressable video, but it could be the 10th. So we are on page 34. This is like either the 10th or 11th bookmark. And we are on the second remember on this page. Oh, right there. And I am going to talk to you about it quickly. So it says, our capacity for stress is limited only to our capacity to think negatively. Absolutely. This is a very good point, because stress is not only an emotion, but it is an emotion that you feel from other emotions. So any negative emotion that you're experiencing produces stress. So if you're feeling sleepy, you're stressed. You're feeling frustrated, sad, angry, disappointed. All of those things produce stress. If you are constantly thinking negatively, if you have negative mental chatter, or what Auntie Lisa would say, stinking thinking, you are constantly experiencing stress. If you are catastrophizing, which means like thinking in the future and thinking of the worst possible scenario that could happen in the future. If you are fortune telling, which is predicting the future, we can't possibly know what is happening, right? If we are polarizing any event or experience, which means good or bad, um, as far as without concrete evidence that it is going to produce a negative reaction or a negative consequence, to polarize something without the evidence is not necessarily helpful to you, right? You kind of it's better for you to play in the middle until you know what will happen than to either think too positive or too negative. You can be positive, which is hopeful, is faith, but negativity is not beneficial. It's only beneficial if you are in immediate or real danger, right? So we want to keep negativity to where it belongs. We are biologically negatively wired, right? Living off the land. If we heard something in the bush, we cannot say, oh, it's a bird, because it can mean life or death, right? So we had to automatically assume that it is something that can harm us, and we had to be ready for it, right? That's what stress is. It's the biological response to be ready for any threat or challenge in our environment. And so if we're feeling out of control in an environment where we don't feel safe, we're walking, one minute we feel safe, we hear something in the bushes, and then now we no longer feel safe. We feel out of control because it's unknown, right? What is in the bush, it produces negative emotions. The problem is that because we're biologically negatively wired, we tend to stay in negative thinking, We produce negative behaviors because of our wiring, our programming, but it can be changed, right? We can alter our programming. We don't always have to think negatively. We are no longer living off the land. We have more positive situations than bad. It's more beneficial for us to think positively than it is negatively. It's better for our health and well-being to have more positive emotions than negative emotions. And especially when it comes to thinking, because thinking produces emotions and emotions produces behaviors. So if we're constantly thinking negative thoughts, then our emotions are negative, which means negative thoughts, stress, negative emotions, stress. And then our behaviors will obviously be negative. A negative and a negative will make another negative. So negative behaviors that are maladaptive, easy, convenient in the society, acceptable, but are maladaptive. 90% of doctor visits are for stress-related symptoms. And so it means that we are not managing our stress adaptively. We are maladaptively managing our stress. We avoid, we deny, we blame, we shame, we practice things like gaming, gambling, substance abuse, screens, social media, binge eating. We do all these types of things that are easy to do to make us forget about our negative emotions and our stresses, but the stress is still there. And experiencing chronic stress leads to burnout, and burnout leads to disease and illness. And many of us are burnt out, stressed, or depressed, and we don't even know it, right? Because we are high functioning in our burnout and our stress. We are numb on the inside. We're running on our autopilot. We just kind of shut off any emotions. We don't want to feel the negative, which means also we are not going to feel the positive by trying to avoid the negative. And so we can get into the trap of sensationalism and chasing things that feel good to us and avoid the things that are sending us messages to change, to grow, to up level, to upgrade. And one of the ways of doing that is to learn stress education, get stress management and wellness training, and create these environments where you can practice what you learn, right? To make sure that it is a lifestyle change and not just something that you're learning that is not sustainable. Now, because we are negatively wired biologically, right? It takes a little while to switch your brain from negative thinking and the negative mental chatter to positive thinking, but it can be done. You just have to be patient with yourself and be committed. You have to prioritize stress management and wellness, and every single day make sure that you are going out your way to add playful, fun, laughter, joy into your life. Humans are neotenous, which means forever juvenile. We're built to benefit from play at any age, although we tend to put away play for adulting. That's why so many of us are unhappy. We spend so much of our time, at least 12 years, preparing for a career, many of us 16, 20 years to prepare for a career, and we hate it, right? 90% of people hate their jobs. So, what's the problem? Why are we spending so much time at work at a place that we hate? We dread on Sunday mornings, throughout the day. We're not enjoying ourselves. It feels more like a chore. We feel obligated. We're going through the motions. We're just surviving. We just want to pay our bills. We don't feel like work is a source of joy. It's not what we contribute to the world. Why? Why will we continue to allow work to be a negative experience for us when we could change that? We can learn stress education, receive stress management and wellness training, and use the work environment, our family environments, our communities, any environment that we're in to improve the overall quality of our lives. And it's easier to do than we think, right? We think that it will take so much work. I'm already busy. I already feel wary, dread, stress. I don't want to add more onto my plate. But there are fun practices that you can do, that you want to do, that you will sneak away to do, that you will prioritize. I remember myself having mental chatter, being in a work environment and feeling like nothing that I do was never enough, that I could not please people. I wasn't feeling valued, respected, cherished. And then I just felt like it was time for me to leave. But you could change jobs forever. You could change environments forever, but everywhere you go, there you are. So it's in your best interest for you to learn how to control your negative feelings, thoughts, emotions, to not think negatively because it's not in your best interest. If you can learn how to rewire your brain, then you can reform any environment that you're in and it will improve the overall quality of your life, believe it or not. So, as far as limiting stress is if you're always positive and you're trusting in something bigger than you, then you feel less stressed. If because I say stress is feeling out of control instead of inner peace. So we feel inner peace when we know that we are being guided, we're being taken care of, that we could just relax into our faith and let the experience happen to us, and we just enjoy it as it unfolds, as opposed to try to control every moment of it and feeling stressed out by our limited capacity to control the things that's happening around us. And whatever we tell ourselves about what's happening around us, our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, the people around us impacts how we show up, how we view ourselves, who we become, because we are what we think about all day long. That's the secret. We become what we think about. So if we're constantly thinking in negative terms, we have stinking thinking and negative mental chatter. We're always projecting negativity on situations. We're not managing our stress. We're not making sure that we are relaxing into relaxation or resting throughout the day or playing throughout the day, but we're always constantly in a state of stress or unease or uncomfortability. It's not good for our overall health and well-being. And we only live one life, so we deserve to improve the quality of our lives through the things that we do, our diet, right? What we consume. So that includes the people, the environment, our thoughts, our emotions, what we eat, what we drink. And although again in society it's easier to not do these things and it's easier to get access to the things you that are not beneficial for you, it's in your best interest to prioritize putting yourself in places, environments, and around people that help you thrive, that hold you to higher standards, the standards you set for yourself, that provide the space and the opportunities for you to relax, for you to be, for you to play, for you to grow, learn, develop. And it's not always negative or have consequences tied to it, or you're feeling obligated or responsible to it, but you're doing it for the sake of doing, right? I mean, or the sake of being, I should say, for the sake of just enjoying, right? We are all going to the same final destination. We may have many milestones and destinations in between the final destination, but I do believe we all deserve to enjoy the journey. And that's what I am here to do, to help us enjoy the journey. And that's why I have so many community of practices tied to the stress management and wellness practices that I use in my stress reduction program. So please tell me, what do you think about what I've said today about being biologically negatively wired, your thoughts, your emotions being negative? I would love to know, what do you think about your capacity for stress is limited to our capacity to think negatively? I would love to know, what are your thoughts on that? Also, are you reading? I would love to know if you're reading. If you want to join our free community of practice book club called Brain Train, we meet every Sundays at 5 o'clock. It is completely free on Zoom. So check out my social medias for that. And as always, I am here on Sundays to do some sort of book review with you. I will continue this series. I have so many more to go. But I wanted to make sure that you know how important reading is and to improve your overall quality of life. Reading helps you to feel more confidence, to reduce stress, to increase your vocabulary, to help you solve more problems. It's how you take on more information to help upgrade your life. And so it's very important and beneficial that we learn how to use adaptive coping practices to manage our stress, so that at the end of our lives, we can move the way we want. We have accomplished what we want. We are who we wanted to be, and we had the life that we wanted to have. And we're not living a life of regret, right? Or a life of misery or dread, that we are actually enjoying our one experience. So living is a shared experience. I am enjoying it and I'm having so much fun, but it is not any fun if you're not having none. So I am here to share with you the things that I do to improve the overall quality of my life and keep my life fun, playful, joyous, so that every morning I am excited. I feel happiness every single day throughout the day because I am doing the work and managing my stress. And so I invite you to do the same, to join our communities of practice. We are creating a counterculture of wellness, and we all deserve that. So get out there, read, play. Make sure come tomorrow you are ready to hop out of bed, add some much needed value in the world. You are worthy, you are lovable, you are more than enough, and happiness is obtainable if you believe it is. So have a great day, work life warriors, and I will see you tomorrow on these in the streets for our stress management well chat. Have a great day.